Okay, so now I will start to present my paper. So, hello everyone, I'm Erna Farina. So, today I'm going to present a paper entitled Electricity Tariff Changes and Consumer Sentiment on Household Consumption Expenditure in Malaysia. So, to put simply, it is to study the electricity tariff changes and its impact on household expenditure across different level of income in Malaysia. Okay, so this is actually a collaboration paper between our university, University Tenaga Nasional, and TNB, Tenaga Nasional Berhad, which is an electricity provider in Malaysia. So the first one, our corresponding author, Associate Professor Dr. Nuriza Muhammad Saad, our senior lecturer based in Muazzam Shah Pahang, and the second one is me, and the third and fourth one are the representative from the TNB. Okay, so for our paper, we adopted the input-output model to study the electricity tariff changes represented by optimized tariff calculation on Malaysians' household consumption across different level of income. So what we found is that the high income earners will be highly affected by the electricity tariff changes compared to the low and middle income earners in Malaysia. So next move to description. Okay, the Malaysian economy's energy has been increased dramatically throughout the years. So in almost 2 decade time, the total energy primary supply has increased tremendously by 77%, so as the total final demand from 1990 to 2018. And among other energy, electricity demand has shown a rapid increase trend throughout the years with approximately 87%. And it was also reported that electricity growth in Malaysia is mainly driven by a strong demand growth from the commercial and domestic sectors. So besides an enormous rise in electricity demand from the industrial, the electricity consumption in the residential is also apparently high and steadily increased throughout the years. So as the Malaysian energy consumption or demand has shown an impressive rise trend, including the electricity demand as well. So it is critical to supply energy that is affordable enough to meet those demands in line with the country's development. So in our country, we have Malaysian Energy Commission, which is a government body that is responsible to regulate electricity pricing for every 3 years. And they have introduced the incentive-based regulation or IBR to ensure a more structured tariff setting in ensuring the operational and cost efficiency among the consumers. So thus, a study is still needed to revise the electricity tariff setting for the future regulatory period. So what we want is to set a reasonable and affordable electricity price to ensure electricity accessibility to all households, either rich or poor, across the country. Because the direct impact on Malaysian household due to the changes in electricity tariff rate is also depends on the magnitude of the tariff rate changes at different level of income and consumption in Malaysia. So for this paper, we adopted the mixed endo-exogenous IO price model for the year 2015, which is the latest version currently published for IO table in the Department of Statistics of Malaysia. And the data provides a comprehensive 5 broad sectors in Malaysia with a total of 124 subsectors. And the IO table is classified according to Malaysia Standard Industrial Classification MSIC. And meanwhile, the data on household consumption is obtained from the Household Expenditure Survey 2015, which classified under the classification of individual consumption according to purpose with 12 different groups. So for the study purpose, we aggregated 124 subsectors into the 12 different groups according to the ISOP. So we developed the IOC ISOP mapping to study the electricity rate changes on Malaysian expenditure across different level of income. And on top of that, we investigate based on the optimized current electricity and also optimized future electricity rate in 3 scenarios, which I will explain about it later. So now let's move to our results and discussion. So the first one is on optimized current electricity changes towards current household consumption expenditure. So this is based on calculation of optimization price on current electricity tariff rate. So based on this figure, you can see that the high income earners will be significantly impacted by the electricity tariff change. And as you can see, the high-end income group or the most affluent household with income 15,000 and over will experience a 0.41% change in their expenditure level, which is the highest compared to the other income classes. And the least impacted will be the 4,000 to 4,999 income class that will only experience of 0.392% changes in their total expenditure. And under this optimized current tariff rate, the least affluent household with income 1,999, they also significantly hurt by these electricity tariff changes because they spend almost 30% of their total expenditure on housing and energy sector compared to high income classes that spend only about 26% on housing and energy sector, and they need to cut around 0.03% of their expenditure on food and beverages in order to spend more money on energy. And then next we moved on to the impact on optimized future electricity tariff changes based on 3 scenarios. So the first scenario is what we call as gray skies, which is the highest tariff rate of 0.1888 with an assumption of 0.8% growth in market demand. So as you can see, again, the high income earners will be significantly impacted on their total expenditure as a result of electricity tariff change, especially the high-end income class that will experience a 0.575% change in their total expenditure compared to the other low-income classes. And as you can see, the income class of 4,000 to 4,999, and again, will be the least impacted income group if there is any changes in electricity tariff rate. And also, all of this income group will approximately experience an increase in their total expenditure by 0.2%. And then next we move to the scenario number 2, which implies an increase in electricity tariff rate by 31% with an assumption of 1.5% growth in market demand. So under this scenario, again, the high income earners will be the most affected by the electricity tariff changes compared to the other income classes. Okay, the third scenario is what we call as green tariff rate, which is the lowest increment in electricity tariff rate by 24%. So the lower the percentage of electricity tariff changes, the smaller would be the impact on the household expenditure compared to the first and also the second scenario. So based on this figure, as you can see, the lower income group would be only slightly affected by the electricity tariff changes compared to high income group. And what we can see is that in all simulations, high income group will be the most affected by any changes in electricity tariff rate because the impact on their total expenditure is slightly higher than the lower and also middle income class. And the reason why the high income group, especially the most affluent household with income 15,000 and above, they were the one that will be impacted the most by these electricity tariff changes because they spend most of their income on housing and energy sector compared to the other sectors that they will spend. So what we can say is that any changes in electricity tariff rate will also substantially impact their expenditure level because they spend most of their income on housing and energy. So if there is an increment in electricity tariff rate, so it will also directly impact their total expenditure. So to conclude, the result indicate that there was variation in response to pricing across different level of income in Malaysia, and we can conclude that the high income earners will be highly affected by any changes in electricity tariff rate compared to the middle and lower income classes. However, the welfare impact is actually quite apparent on low income earners as well because from our study, from our simulations, we can see that the least affluent household with income 1,999 and below, they will have the same impact on their total expenditure as the middle upper income classes of 7,000 to 7,999. However, for the lower income group, they spend 30% of their total expenditure on housing and energy sector alone, which is the highest spending out of their total expenditure compared to the other income classes that will spend on that sector, which is energy sector. So if there is an increment, if there is an increase in electricity tariff rate, it will not only directly affect the high income household, but also affect the lower income household because now, as I mentioned earlier, they need to spend more money on energy because now for them, the electricity has become more expensive. So they need to cut the expenditure on the essential things like food and beverages by 0.03%, compared to high income earners that will only cut 0.01%, which is slightly lower than the low income earners. So what we can conclude is that it is safe to opt for the green tariff rate or scenario number 3 because not only it would have a small impact on the total expenditure changes to all income classes in Malaysia, either rich or the poor, but also it may have a high probability to ensure electricity accessibility to all households across the nation, either rich or poor. So that's all from me. So thank you so much.